Hello, I'm Mr. SilverFox.
And I'm Mrs. SilverFox, and you're listening to the SilverFox Swingset,
a podcast where we document the ins, outs, and upside downs of the swinger lifestyle from a beginner's perspective.
This podcast is recommended for the 18 and over crowd and contains adult content. So if you're not a grown-up, please come back when you're of legal consenting age.
So, hello to our first podcast, Mrs. SilverFox.
Ooh, first podcast. It's a big deal.
So, just a brief introduction for myself. I'm 42 years old. I work in the agriculture industry. And I would say we got into the lifestyle on a joke I made.
So, I am 36. Am I 36?
You are.
Almost 37. I am a boudoir, erotic, and lifestyle photographer. And I would definitely agree that we got into this on a joke and sort of by accident.
I think it all turned around when we were looking into our personal lives and seeing a lot of toxic behavior, I would say we were surrounded by, and it was starting to affect our positivity.
Negative energy. So much negative energy from people. And I think we both kind of came to the conclusion that we needed new friends that were more positive influences. And two, that we needed to plan date nights, I guess, that affected us in a positive way.
I would say so, because we went out on our first date night together, just Mrs. Fox and I. And I would say it was a good time, but it wasn't everything we were looking for.
So we went to Olive Garden, which is great. Pasta is great. Never-ending salad is great. Had a great time. Had a couple drinks. Flirted with the bartender. She was adorable.
I will say she was adorable.
So fucking cute. Came home, had sex. Everything was fantastic, but the next day, not really having anything to do with the sex that we had, but then the date night that we had, it was like, for me, I kind of felt like it was not boring, but just really uneventful. Like, I didn't need to spend, $120 on dinner and a drink to have sex with my husband in our house. So we kind of decided beyond that we would try and plan things that were more interesting for date nights.
That's where the joke came out the following day. When we were in the kitchen together, we were talking about the evening we had the night before and our friends, the toxicity that was surrounding us and how we somewhat removed ourselves from it. And I made the joke. I said, why don't we become friends with swingers? They seem like an extremely positive group of people to be around. And I'd say that was probably the moment we actually started thinking about it, I would say, more independently and not open with each other at the moment.
For sure.
And I think we both signed up for a website within the next 48 hours.
I think the next 24, because I feel like when I spent the $15 or $25 or whatever it was, I was so nervous that you would think that I was moving too fast, or that I took a joke that you said as I took it too far. But in the same moment that I was telling you that I spent $24 on a membership to a swinger lifestyle group or website or whatever, you were telling me that you had already spent $40 on a lifetime membership to a swinger website. So I would say it worked out. It worked out okay, I think. That was a stupid thing for me to be nervous about, especially because it was only $20. But I was still a little worried that you would think that was too much too fast after you had just kind of made a joke in the kitchen the day before.
And I don't really think that the lifestyle membership is a pertinent fact of the situation. It was just from a financial standpoint made more sense.
I would agree. The lifetime membership was a really good financial choice.
So I would say that time frame that we actually started to open up to each other more about our desires, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I would say that after that, we started looking into finding a couple or even attending an event after we signed up for the websites. And so we went on our first date shortly after that. And I would say we had a pretty good time.
I would agree. We had a great Airbnb. Like, I cannot say enough about the lady, I think, that ran that place. One, the place smelled wonderful. It was tucked away on like a little side street that made me feel safe about parking the car. And we went to technically it was labeled as a house party, but the way that it was set up was kind of like, it almost seemed like a club. Like, you know, you had to go down this kind of secret, you had to find the secret pillars with the special letter and drive down the driveway and kind of swirl around the property to find, you know, the door. And there was a flashing sign that said open and
light up pineapples to guide your way.
Especially over, you know, when you're wearing platform heels, which I don't dress up and wear heels or anything fancy very often, but this especially, I guess we should mention, was a little black dress party. So, you know, there was what we thought was a very strict dress code. So I feel like we poured a lot of money into really looking fresh as hell. We looked really good, I feel like. I mean, a lot of people said it, but I felt it.
I definitely, you know, went above and beyond. It was our first event. I wanted to look good for you, for one, and, you know, maybe some potential other couple that we could run into. You know, I went dressed to impress, I would say.
Sure.
And
cute tie, matched my purse. Like, I would say we were really on fire.
I would say we were pretty on point.
And my sexual anticipation getting the, you know, noob tour of the place was really kind of at a really heightened level because I didn't know what to expect, and I refused to go in with any kind of expectation because I would rather be, I guess, surprised by something good that happens than disappointed by something that doesn't happen that I thought would happen. So during the tour, you know, I really felt like my sexual tension was at its peak during the tour. You know, we had to read rules. We had to pay to get in. There was a nice lady at the door. They showed us the rooms.
I would say it didn't hurt that she was cute as a button.
So cute.
And had a wonderful little ass on her, too.
Oh, my. And she snorted. Oh, she spoke to my heart. She snorted so hard. That is so cute.
She was wonderful.
Oh, bless her heart.
I will definitely agree with you there. And I would say it was stimulating just thinking about what could happen. And
sure.
Even though nothing was happening because we were one of the first couples there. But
we were.
I will say that, you know, being our first experience, I was definitely very heightened as well. But then as the evening continued, I would say my mental and erotic stimulation was close to overloaded at one point.
Okay, so for complete disclosure, I would say you really felt the vibe of the situation and had more beers than I have. Like, I didn't even know how many beers you actually had until you said you have to be the driver. I have had this many beers. Like, I've only ever seen you have like 2 or 3 beers, even like at a small venue where there's like a band playing or something. I think I've only ever seen you consume 2 to 3 beverages. So for you to say to me, babe, I've had like 7 beers, I feel like that was a huge part of the stimulation, because like I feel like you were feeling the stimulation a lot more than I was. The venue was a great place. It was a great first experience. Everyone for the most part was really respectful. I met a lot of fun people. I feel like, we didn't really connect on a level with anyone really that we like were so, I don't know, we're so
ready to play.
Yeah, I don't feel like there was a point where that happened, but definitely there was a point where you said, like, let's go peek in some of these rooms that have the doors open but the rope's up, and I was kind of, I'd rather save it for a time when we're both really ramped up, or we feel like something is going to happen, or we have spotted someone that we think there might be an opportunity to play. I didn't really meet anybody there there was a lot of nice people there, a lot of people that said really nice things and made me feel really sexy. Like, I felt sexy when we got there. I felt sexy when I was getting ready. I felt sexy, the whole night with you. But I think that the people that were telling you that they thought that I was sexy too really kind of heightened my sexual elevation, but really only for you, not for the situation or the place we were in. Like, it made me really want to fuck you. It didn't make me want to fuck them.
I would say that's pretty fair. I was curious. I was far more curious to no end than you. I did want to go check out everything that was going on. But I will say one of the major things that we took away from that was not just this heightened sexuality moment that, of course, we went back to that beautifully remodeled Airbnb. And I will say that our host was amazing. The communication was spot on. Couldn't have went any smoother for us.
10 out of 10. Would recommend.
10 out of 10, definitely. But I would also say that our communication following the event took a whole new level.
For sure.
I will say that, there was certain boundaries that were discussed. How do we communicate with each other without perhaps offending another couple, or the other direction, inviting another couple that we were interested in. And, how do we communicate that with each other by not whispering and making somebody feel uncomfortable in our situation?
Sure.
So I would say our communication definitely took a big leap at that point. And we were able to be open on, hey, how do you feel about, I'm attracted to this gal. I don't necessarily want to play, but is it okay if we want to make out?
Sure.
So it kind of got those conversations. What are you comfortable with? What do we have to experience in front of each other before we go to the next level? And what is exactly the next level we want to go to right now? I will say that conversation came on pretty hard, pretty quick. If anything, just for both of our curiosity.
I think that that conversation was important to have, because when we, kind of started as a kind of joking, and we were setting up our profiles, and then it became not really joking, and kind of being more open and honest about what we were searching for through other people for each other. Because I would say, and I hope that it continues, that no matter how much our view of the lifestyle and like what we want to experience in the lifestyle changes, no matter how that looks and how that changes, I would hope that it always leads back to, the intimacy that you and I have with each other. Like, I think that's, for me right now, that's the most important thing, is that, Do I want to see you fuck somebody else? Yeah, for like 100% I want to see that. Do I want to fuck somebody else? I mean, yeah, kind of. But no matter what happens, like, I want to be able to take that experience for both of us back to each other. And for that, for whatever happens, whether it's a good or a bad play experience, to heighten what we have between one another, which I think has already, taken a monumental turn in the way that we approach our own sexuality and like how we interact sexually with each other. Just having that conversation, I think, has heightened our intimacy to a level that I've never felt it before now.
I will definitely say that we have increased by a vast majority.
Yeah, I would say. Well, and the stuff that, like, now even just talking about it, the stuff that I'm willing to, that a year ago or 6 months ago I would have said, like, oh no, I would never do that. Some of that stuff is like it's right to the forefront now, and I'm not afraid to do it. I would say having sex with any kind of light illuminating the room where I felt like I was really exposed before was completely off the table. And when we started having this conversation about the lifestyle and about like the sex that we were having and the sex that we wanted to have together and with other people, that I don't know, it was almost like at a circus where like this curtain or veil lifts, and it's like there's this whole really cool act happening behind this curtain that you're not allowed to see until someone pulls the rope to open the curtain. I feel like me allowing myself just to think about having sex during the day and being open and really vulnerable, and like you being able to see every part of me, was like, used to be kind of scary. But it almost seems like the more we talk about this stuff, the more open I am to you seeing, I don't know, like the parts of me sexually that I think were hidden or stifled before.
And I could say that's a rather fair statement to make. And Mrs. SilverFox and I will be together 11 years this year. So, married, that is. We've been together for about 13 years in total.
That's crazy.
But,
to think about.
Up until last year, which would be our 10th year of marriage, in my mind, Mrs. SilverFox was really vanilla.
So, story time. I actually thought the same thing about Mr. SilverFox, and I'm not even sure how that conversation came about, but I remember the part of it that I do remember that really is, to me, super significant that I never considered before is you asked me, do you know what my biggest fantasy is? And I said no. And I said no, but I didn't think anything beyond my answer. Like, I just said no, I don't know what it is. And I assumed, it was a threesome, because every guy wants a threesome. And sorry. So I just assumed it was that. But then, you said, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know your fantasy either, or your, like, something that you want to do that really turns you on. And it was.
And I asked you if that was weird.
Yeah, and I guess
that after 10 years, we didn't know.
And, well, to be fair, what you said, and it still, like, strikes me to this day when I think about how long it took us to have that conversation, is you said, don't you think that's fucked up? And I thought, like, I love this man. Like, I share everything with this man. I don't know. I think, our communication is so rock solid that I take for granted some of the things that we don't talk about. And it's hard to talk to your partner about things that you might want in fear that they're going to feel like they're not good enough, or they're not doing enough, or that they're not.
Or they may just judge you for it.
Yes. And I guess I was afraid to talk about those things for so long because I didn't want you to see me in a way that would make you think less of me.
And I think that's fair. I think that's a logical fear people have. Like, if I express my true self, are they able to love that self rather than the representative I've been showing them for so long? So, being able to completely open up, which I wouldn't say in the beginning it was just, this flood of information, this is who I am sexually, accept me.
No.
In any way, but it was, hey, I'm going to show you something, a side of me that I think you should know about me. Whether we do it or not wasn't relevant to our relationship. It wasn't, breakup day.
No, I was still going to love you. And honestly, when we had that conversation, the things that I wanted, so confession, Mr. SilverFox is, and I hate to brag about what I have, and you're never supposed to tell another woman how your man puts it down, but I'm going to break this shit down. Like, I married a man who is considerate and adaptive and reciprocative and respectful. And that's not just in the way that we communicate with each other, but, that extends to our sexual relationship as well, that, he's just so considerate to my needs and my quirks and my, conditioning from past trauma, that I just thought he was such a nice guy that he would never do the things that I
do to you now,
that you do to me now. Yeah. And that are my favorite things. Like, I don't know. I just thought you were too nice a guy. So when he asked me that, and we decided to have that conversation about what we wanted, when we both expressed what we wanted, he kind of was really turned on by the thought of us doing intimate things in an area that might get us caught. And I thought, is that it? That's the thing that you didn't tell me for 10 years. And, he said, your turn. And I said, I like force play and a little bit of choking. Like, you can cover up my mouth sometimes. And I thought he would just look at me in a way and just be so disgusted. And he kind of looked at me and he said, well, that's it? That's kind of vanilla. I feel like I was so worried that you would just think that was such a, that was such a deviant thing. And that was such a different, I like to think you look at your wife in a certain way, and, you look at the bitches you used to fuck in a certain way, and it's different. But, once that came out and you said, that's it, I thought, oh, shit. And there was a moment where I said, I thought for the last 10, 11, 12 years, I'm the worst at dates, that I've just been completely in love with and fucking the most vanilla person I've ever known. And you said, I can't believe I've been with you this long. And I thought I was fucking the most vanilla person I've ever known. That was such a sexual revelation, I think, for both of us. And it, that conversation happened at 2 p.m. And I'm telling you, I walked around wet the rest of the day, ready for the end of the night when I would see all the things you were actually willing to do. And it was, that was magnificent. All the sex we've had since then is magnificent, but for sure. I definitely remember that night when you tried a little bit of everything, and oh my God, that shit was majestic as hell. Thank you. I feel like we had shit handled, even if like the Chicken Little scenario would have happened where the sky would have just fell down. Like, I for sure was still going to come no matter what. That was amazing. I stuttered my M. That was
So I would definitely say that, from a joke to actually acting on our desires, to pursuing our desires, to instituting our desires has come from us dipping our toe into the lifestyle so far.
for sure.
And I would say it actually had us have additional conversations about, hey, I know these were our original standards and rules, but how do you truly feel about a couple different scenarios?
Yeah.
Like, are you completely against it? Because I'd say that we found out again some new things about ourselves.
Right away.
But we didn't know. I mean, that wasn't something that we were holding back for the last 11 years.
Sure.
Such as things we wanted done to ourselves by our spouses. But I would definitely say that, the more we thought about what we were actually doing, that we needed to be even more clear in our communication and our definitions of what are we going to go do tonight. We're new, and I'd say
Brand spanking new. That sounds sexy too when you call it brand spanking new.
it doesn't. Maybe I'll try it later.
I like it. When I text it, it looks sexy.
But I think some of the conversations we've had with other couples have gotten pretty hot.
Phew.
I'll say some of the wonderful, nice ladies out there in the world.
Oh my God. God bless. God bless you.
That can
Hot,
turn
nice
around
ladies.
and smile at a camera
Oh my
and
God.
be as pleasant human beings as they can possibly be are some of the most wonderful.
Southern Belles. I'm telling you, some of my favorite couples I found so far that make me the hottest and make me think, oh, like I for sure want to fuck these people, is they're always Southern Belles. Those Southern girls, they're so nice.
One in particular, Mrs. SilverFox knows who I'm definitely speaking.
A little anime character, like a living hot anime drawing. Oh my goodness, bless her heart.
Definitely has our attention at the moment.
Lord.
And we are looking forward to having the opportunity to make some plans happen in the near future. But I will say, segueing into our next event.
It's crazy. I'm so nerve-sighted.
I am definitely very excited. Couples lining up their evening perhaps with us has been rather erotic. I would say that's pretty hot.
That's for sure hot. I'm really excited. So it's a dress to impress, which I'm kind of unclear whether that means to dress really classy or dress really slutty. So I picked something right in the middle. That's like a little
solid move.
Oh God. And what's even better is that my dress is a complete surprise for Mr. SilverFox. I'm not going to show it to him until we're getting ready for there's like a calendar of events with this hotel takeover. It's in Findlay, Ohio. Club Euphoria is hosting. And it's a complete hotel takeover where check-in is like 2 or 3 or something in the afternoon. There's like a meet and greet.
There's a speed date session.
Is there?
There is.
Oh my God. I would love to speed date. I think that would be so much fun.
I think it's going to be a blast. I want to participate.
Do we speed date together or separate?
I guess we find out.
Oh my God. That's going to be great.
I hope if it's not together, you make some wise decisions.
I will just say I am one of the most awkward people and awkward flirters, if that's a word. Yes.
Almost underrated statement.
It's so underrated. I really, and even when I say things that are like, kind of sexy and underhanded, my face or my eyebrows are so fucking awkward that it ruins whatever I'm trying to say and just turns it into something completely ridiculous. So
I have to say though, have always had a very flirtatious tone in me.
Yes.
I would say my personality is definitely flirtatious, and I enjoy making other people feel good about themselves.
Yes.
And so for me, it's more fun because I do get to flirt in front of you. And I think we both enjoy that.
I do. You flirt with me all the time because we're married, and
we did it before we were married too.
Yeah, that's true. We did a lot of online flirting back in the MySpace days. Bum, bum, bum. We're just aging ourselves.
Hey, Tom.
My first friend. You my only friend. Yeah, I would, I've never really watched you flirt with other women until recently, and it really took that for me to appreciate. Like, hearing you and watching you flirt with other women has given me a complete appreciation for what a fucking good flirt you are. You really are.
I definitely I enjoy the blushing, I would say. I enjoy some of those responses where you get just the sound. And I definitely enjoy an aggressive comeback.
I like watching you try to get those. I haven't seen a lot of it. We did the house party thing, and we went on, a couple dinner dates, and I got to see that a little bit. And that it's almost like a whole new side of you that kind of was always there, but I couldn't appreciate until I saw you sort of use it with somebody else. Like, you're a great flirt, but I'm your wife and I suck at taking compliments. And so, I didn't really appreciate your flirt ability while I was in it.
Because I tell you how to respond to my flirts.
Yeah. Well, you have to
say thank you.
I can't just say thank you. I have to make a weird face and squirm around like a creep and say something awkward about myself. But I will say I'm getting better at that.
I will say you're getting a lot better at receiving.
Yeah, since the whole lifestyle conversation, like the thought of me, I don't know if I ever considered myself sexy until we invited other people to look at me, and then and you kind of gave permission for people to look at me and say things about me and approach you about me. I think that permission and that relationship and that kind of openness and that sexual avenue that we had never really played with before, I think that in itself heightened my sexuality and the way I feel about myself and about our relationship sexually, if that makes sense.
I will say it does, because I know you very well. And I will definitely say that other men hitting on you is a very large turn on for me, because I think those things of you, and if I think those things of you, I think it's absurd that somebody would be offended that somebody thought that about you. So I enjoy it because I like seeing you squirm around. I know that body language is, you're trying to let somebody know you like it, but you kind of suppressing it now and turning your flirt game on a little bit is definitely a sexy two-way street.
I would say, yeah, I like that, but I need to work on my flirt game some more. My instant reaction to flirting or trying to flirt with someone or to divert attention or really for anything. My natural reaction is humor. And I think sometimes I get lucky and my humor comes off as like a sexual, sexy, flirty humor. But
sometimes you make it weird.
Oh, I do make it weird. I make things weird all the time. I really do.
But I think it's a fun part of you. And I think that a lot of people enjoy experiencing that side of you.
I could work on it, though. And I am working on my flirt game. I've said some things recently in messages to some of these couples that I feel like was very out of my character and very sexy. And honestly, just the selfies that I have for our private albums and, some of the selfies that I've sent to you, I would say are way out of the comfort zone that I ever had before. I've never taken a photo with my tits out before.
Sure.
Until we got into this lifestyle and I sent you, the picture at work where I was like, this is not safe for work. And then I sent it. Until that photo, had never trusted myself or a relationship or someone else enough or felt confident enough in myself to even take a picture like that and send it. Let alone take it, send it, save it to our private album and grant people access to it. Like,
that's a monumental step.
I can't tell you how many people I've granted access to see my tits on these websites.
I think I'm a little more selective.
When
it comes to the access arena.
Now that I've done it, it's just tits. Well, because let me be really clear about how I currently feel, and this could change, and I'm open to that. I really like the surprise, and because, we haven't played with anyone yet, I'm really looking forward to that moment when somebody pulls my panties off or something similar to that. I don't want to show everything I have right now because I want to present that gift to somebody. I don't know. That sounds weird, but
it doesn't sound weird to me because I don't like to instantly get naked and have sex. And I think that's a big part of my personality. So to me, and of course this is a zero judgment arena for anybody listening, that all of that is perfectly acceptable as long as you're comfortable and you're consensually doing it.
Oh, own that shit. 100%.
And it just, for me, I really enjoy the act of removing very sexy clothing and getting to see everything with my own eyes for the first time in that setting where I am the one getting to remove the clothing and the other person is enjoying every bit of it, because I would definitely say I'm a very observant human being.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So I definitely take the time to acknowledge the thought and effort you put into
and appreciate. You're very appreciative.
I mean, even down to little bows and stuff. It's all very thoughtful. I would say, from your point of view, that yes, it makes you feel sexy as a woman, but at the same time, you're doing it for me. You're showing me something that you put a lot of thought and time into. So I take the time and consideration to notice everything. And I think taking my time, I really enjoy.
And unwrapping carefully. I think, ladies, for those of you out there looking at our profile, considering that you might want to play with us, let me just tell you that this man will appreciate every piece of clothing that you're wearing and take it off in any way that you want him to. And it's just, I feel like you're a very thoughtful and thorough lover. to have.
I like things to be very fluid. And so the less awkward I can make, not creating some entanglement that I didn't intend to happen, is crucial to my pillow talk.
I would say too, I think I'm learning a lot about lingerie and the things that kind of walk the line between showing you just enough, but also being comfortable enough that, you know, I'm not going to get tangled up like like I'm in a fucking fishing net when you try and move stuff around. That's important to me.
I would definitely agree with that. I don't want to be awkward, like, what the hell am I doing in here? I want to act like I know what I'm doing. So that communication is important.
Yeah.
We've made an introduction. I think we've stated several things to help our listeners get to know us. And I think we have a few experiences, at least, we'd like to share since our first. I don't know. What do you have to say in closing here?
Oh my gosh. So I think since we're noobs that we should, as we kind of go along, share what we kind of are learning for people that might be interested or who are just kind of watching from a distance or who might be randomly picking a podcast that, you know, might have something to do with swinging. So I will say the one thing to me I think it was really important that I have also learned from, you know, when we started talking about this, I started listening to podcasts. So many podcasters I respect and that I've learned, you know, a lot from. And, you know, kind of the common theme that everyone talks about is communication. And that's in the bedroom, outside of the bedroom, on the way to an event, on the way home from an event, you know, before you play, after you play, months after you play, years after you play, that what I'm learning so far, you know, without the sexual experience of playing with other people, is that communication is going to get us through this from start to finish, so that we're both being, you know, really clear and really honest about what we want. And I don't know.
I would say not rushing into anything has been a wonderful
huge
thing. You know, we're selective on, I would say, non-pushy situations. We're very open-minded to play, should the moment dictate.
Very open-minded to play.
Exactly. You know, we're very open-minded to, I would say, we don't understand what the moment's going to be, and we can't define it before our dates.
But I feel like we'll know, right? Like when we're in it. And especially, I would say, the hotel takeover, there's a limit of 400 people before the fire marshal shows up. And after the fire marshal shows up, there'll be like 420 people. So by your brain, law of averages, I feel like something majestic.
Just the people that say they want to meet us alone, like the law of averages says one of them's in trouble.
For sure.
I will also say, you know, before going, that if you are interested in checking us out, that on swinglifestyles.com, find Mrs. SilverFox and Mr. SilverFox as SilverFox79. And where are you?
And I am also... Where am I? I am on Swing Towns. And what else am I on? Oh, I'm on Swing Towns, so I'm also on Cassidy.com. And on both of those, we are SilverFox79. And for the Cassidy.com website, I am actually... I can't believe I almost didn't mention this, but I'm an affiliate photographer for Cassidy.com, and I've also started an affiliate photographer relationship with lifestylersmagazine.com. So if you need photos of yourself, or you and a spouse, or you and a lover, or you and whatever, I travel everywhere, so you can get my information on, like I said, Swing Towns, and also Cassidy.com has all of that information, and I am a certified photographer on Cassidy.
And you can also message me where I'm at, and of course I'll get you hooked up with Mrs. SilverFox, and you can work out those details.
Oh, wait, I forgot there's more. If you go to my Cassidy profile, and I have a referral number, so anybody that is not a paid Cassidy member can actually get a 30-day free trial membership with some of the perks of being a fully paid member.
If anything, just for the curious.
Yes, and to peek on some cute profiles, and they have cinema that's uploaded daily, and events that are posted all the time, and tons of really sexy people from all different places that want to engage in lots of different levels of play. So, yeah, 30 days free.
Well, if anything, next weekend should be a fun. Should be fun.
We should do a live show. I'm going to be too busy. I'm going to be too busy doing 8 outfit changes like fucking Beyonce.
Well, I think we should go on a very good line. If anything, we'll have a good night. If everything, we'll have an amazing one.
I feel like you just made that up. That's so hot.